Hi everybody, Mary here. So this week's video blog post is actually an update to a video that I had done a few years back about a very popular topic, which is how to find a job in Hawaii if you're not here already. And to be quite honest, this is advice that's not just for people who want to move to Hawaii. I'm sure you could actually take the word Hawaii out and interchange it with any other location and hopefully find some relevant insights and tips on your search. You know, I did the video a few years back. The content in that first video I still stand by. I just would like to update it with some insights and advice that I've learned since then, either firsthand helping people move here or just hearing from other people's stories and taking in that information and wanting to share that with all of you. Is it better to get a job when I'm not living here in Hawaii, or is it better to move here without a job and then, you know, work the job search from that angle? Which is the better way? And the answer to that is it's really going to depend. I know you probably don't want to hear that, but it's true. So it's going to depend on a couple of things. One, it's going to depend on the employer that you are applying to. You know, I would say that there are a lot of employers here that recruit outside of Hawaii pretty regularly. They're fine with it. However, there is equally a number of companies that really don't want to do that. They prefer that people are here, living, established in the community, and hiring from that pool. You know, sometimes people don't want to take any risk and move to a place where they don't really know much about or don't have much connection to, and that's fine. But, you know, there might be just a specific number of employers that might be the best options for an offer right out of the box. But others, you know, they really value people who have saved up money, have done the research ahead of time, moved here because they're extremely serious to be here and create a life and a profession here. So it's going to depend on you with what you're comfortable on that. The next thing that I would say is a lot of times people say, oh, hey, Mary, I want a job in Hawaii. What are the opportunities? And you need to get familiar with understanding what kind of job opportunities exist here. Knowing the market really well is being familiar with pay rates. A lot of times people who were not familiar with the market would say, hey, you know, I would assume that Hawaii has a very expensive cost of living, that the wages keep up with that, so I'm going to be paid salary very high. And my answer to that is, you need to do your research, and that is wrong in most cases. So, you know, you really need to understand what the landscape looks for you as a professional in the industry that you're working in, and that requires research. Research from what you can find online, research from who you're networking with at companies, other recruiters that might be in the area and familiar, you know, friends from school or, you know, from church or other organizations that you might be involved in that have some connection here. In addition to knowing the market, it's really important to make sure that you're eligible to work in the United States. In order to find employment here, not just in Hawaii, but anywhere in the United States, if you're not already legally authorized to work here, you're going to need to secure that prior to coming here. So my recommendation is you need to get those things squared away before you even apply. Please don't ask me or tell me that you'll be willing to pay for your documents in order to work here, because it doesn't work like that here. You actually have to have, in most cases, an employer that will sponsor you. Therefore, you don't pay any expense out of pocket for your right to work here, but rather the company that believes in you, that believes that you're hireable, will. My last bit of advice is, you know, when you move to Hawaii, you have to be super flexible. For a lot of people, that come here, it is not an easy transition in most cases. It's a cultural change. It might, have some interesting twists and turns that will require some flexibility on your part. Of a few people who have moved here, they've always wanted to live in Hawaii. They didn't really have much of an established network. They didn't spend any of their childhood here, nor did they have family members or really close friends that have been here for a long period of time. They were hoping to get into a sales-focused role where, obviously knowing the players in your industry and people that can help you and make connections and introductions for you, that kind of alliance wasn't necessarily there. So they were extremely discouraged that the jobs that they were applying for, no one was calling them for. In cases like this, you might really want to think, what is your ultimate goal? Is it to live in Hawaii and ultimately get into that? Or is it, like getting this kind of job out of the box? I would say that it's far easier to go into it and adapt to situations if you're willing and flexible, because sometimes your best laid plans don't work out. The timing of things, it may not happen the way that you'd like it to be, but maintaining a mindset that you're willing to kind of roll with the punches will go a long way. I'd love to hear from any of you on whether you agree, or if you've moved here recently, what are some of the things that you're facing that you wish you could overcome, or that you'd like to impart wisdom with people wanting to move here and you've done it. What are those things?